had the time. Or the inclination.
Thomas Brown knows more about books than anyone. Well, perhaps not Madame Scribner.
Oh dear, do mind the tiles. Some of them can be mixed.
Not sure he's in at the present moment, the headmaster. Would be
Rat! I'm not ready for Professor Bin's lecture. I forgot my pillow.
In today's lesson, we will cover a truly thrilling event. The Goblin Rebellion of 1752 and all its triumphant tragedy. But more specifically, we will address the devastating effects it had on the wizard milling industry. Throughout the many goblin battles, countless wizard cloaks were lost. Actually, we do know the number. 632. But history occurs outside the classroom. And look, it's time for my constitutional. One can practically osmose the history flowing through Hogwarts.
I think the professor wants us to follow him.
And now for a stroll to the Bell Tower entrance hall. Along with the rest of the castle, it was completed in the late early Middle Ages. The hall and the bell towers that loom above it contain myriad interesting artifacts. Good to see you again. Recovered from that nasty bout of dragon pox, have we?
That wasn't me, Professor. I'm new here.
Are you? Well then, welcome. No doubt you're eagerly anticipating my analysis of various wizarding councils, codes, statutes, and of course, goblin rebellions. Not all goblins are rebellious. Some venture into wizarding politics, such as Eargit the Ugly. Some are talented artisans, such as Bragbor the Boastful.
Did you say Bragbor? I know that name. Lodgok said he was an ancestor of Ranrock.
Well known for his metalwork. I would imagine much of his goblin-wrought iron and silver has survived to this very day. Well, where were we? Oh yes. Back to our class topic for today. Grimbold Weft. Another notable historical figure. He's right nearby. Curious students can find him on display here in the Bell Tower entrance hall. I recommend that all students introduce themselves to this hero of Hogwarts. Grimbold Weft is responsible for some of the most important work done in the Goblin Rebellion of 17, such as sewing buttons on witches and wizards' coats. Without his quick hand and witches and wizards may have caught cold. Spring that year. Never strays from
This unassuming smudge is rumored to be the location of the very first successful use of Bombarda. I suppose successful is a relative term, since whoever cast it didn't live to tell.
Revelio.
Hogwarts is impervious to the inexorable march.
Abandoning class to wander the halls is in keeping with Professor Binns' manner of teaching.
This rebellion sounds like a helpful fellow.
Not a hero of the
Oh, yes. I see you found Grimbold Weft.
Yes, I rather enjoyed seeking him out.
The thrill of the scholarly pursuit. I know the feeling quite well. Now, let's turn our attention to the agreeability and general good nature of Sir Aphbuttle. He's also nearby. See what you can learn from him for your next assignment. Standing in it.
Where can I find that friendly knight you mentioned earlier?
Oh yes, Sir Aphbuttle, or rather the statue of Sir Aphbuttle. It can be found amongst the other statues of knights. It's easy to identify, as it's been enchanted to wave at those who take the time to seek it out. Where his warm and approachable demeanor is celebrated by old friends and newcomers alike. I encourage everyone to make the waving statue's acquaintance.
Sir Skagglethorpe the Heedless once challenged a mountain troll to a...
These bits of broom are all that's left of a witch called Celine
Wagadu's history is, well, a bit different than that of Hogwarts, to say the least.
This is a centuries-old likeness of Pangadon.
Revelio.
Fearless mouse hunter and devoted study. People have always loved their pets. I find that comforting.
All the centuries that
Professor Binns, I found the statue of Sir Aphbuttle.
Ah, well done. Alas, Sir Aphbuttle's affability was his undoing. Died instantly trying to befriend a basilisk. Eye contact is not always to be encouraged. So beloved was he that even some goblins mourned his passing. Of course, that did not bode well with the rest of the goblins, most of whom could not abide mourning the loss of a wizard.
Pity goblins and wizards can't get along.
True, but imagine how dull my lectures would be without goblin rebellions to discuss. History does tend to repeat. It is a series of patterns, a thought both comforting and disconcerting. The wise student, such as yourself, will learn from it. History is written by those who do their school.
Cromlech Gaunt was the sort who'd flay her own mother.
Oh, hello again. Couldn't have perfected the broom upgrades without your help. As always, I have a special prize for you. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again.
It's not one thing, it's the other.
I truly enjoyed working with you. Thank you for believing in me.
Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade?
Are you ready to put an end to Harlow?
I'm ready to do what's needed to take Harlow down. I know you have a plan.
We must gather information from the friends of Mr. Bickle that Archie and Mrs. Bickle mentioned. Agabus Filbert, Otto Dibble, and Mr. and Mrs. Rabe.
All right.
I suggest that you speak with each of them while I head to the Hogshead. I saw some Ashwinders heading there. And as my mother would never go near the Hogshead, she is less likely to learn of my activities than if I were to wander the village questioning its residents.
What sort of information am I trying to gather from these people?
They may know what evidence Mr. Bickle had against Harlow, or they may have evidence of their own. We simply need to know whatever they know.
Where am I to find these friends of his?
I do not know about Mr. Rabe, but his wife, Daisy, is often in Hogsmeade, as is Agabus Filbert. And Otto Dibble, he works at Gladrags, so you will likely find him there.
Where am I to find these friends of his?
I do not know about Mr. Rabe, but his wife, Daisy, is often in Hogsmeade, as is Agabus Filbert. And Otto Dibble, he works at Gladrags, so you will likely find him there.
Very well. I'll speak with them. See what I can learn.
I knew I could rely on you. We need to know how they are being blackmailed by Rookwood and Harlow. Meet me here after you have spoken with them. Hopefully, by the time you return, I will be able to move a bit more freely.
Chores aren't so bad. I don't mind that.
We've got dark these days.
Mrs. Rabe should be nearby.
Oh, Isco, what have I done?
Mrs. Rabe, I wondered if I might speak with you about Theophilus Harlow. I'm a friend of the Bickles, and I'm trying to gather evidence against him.
Poor Joanna and little Archie. And now Harlow has taken my darling Isco.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm a security guard at Gringotts, and my husband is a curse breaker for them. Harlow approached me about helping him extort my colleagues into giving him treasures from the vaults.
And you declined?
Of course I declined. Repeatedly. I thought they'd given up, until I came home one night and found my husband gone, and a note affixed to my door with a knife. The note stated that I only had a few days to reconsider helping with some banking needs, and that my husband would appreciate it if I acted quickly. But the help Harlow wants is help that I cannot give, and my dearest Isco is paying the price.
Are you sure the note means that your husband was kidnapped?
What else could it possibly mean? Besides, I came home to find that someone had trampled the daisies in our garden. It may sound silly, but those were Isco's pride and joy. He would never have let that happen.
Have you helped Harlow since your husband was taken?
No. I'm worried sick about Isco, but he'd never want me to compromise my integrity. I also know that he's extremely clever. That said, I was hoping he would have escaped by now. It makes me concerned as to why he hasn't.
Why wouldn't Harlow extort your husband?
Isco's job is even more removed from the vaults than mine. He travels the world for the bank. He could do nothing for Harlow. I'm the one in the bank on a daily basis, which evidently makes me an enticing target for blackmail.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabe. Knowing the lengths that Harlow will go to is helpful, albeit more than disturbing.
Mr. Bickle was trying to help us, but now he's gone. I don't know what to do.
I shall do all I can to get evidence against Harlow, Mrs. Rabe.
Very well. Here's the note I received. You must be careful as well. Please don't put yourself in danger.
Some evidence worth hanging on to.
Thank you. I hope it's not too late.
Now to find Mr. Bickle's other two friends. Otto Dibble works at Gladrags. I should check there.
Please tell me you didn't take it. But perhaps it's been here all along.
Mr. Dibble, may I speak with you? It's about Theophilus Harlow.
I've nothing to say about him. May I interest you in a stunning cravat today?
Please, sir, I would like to help. I spoke to Mrs. Bickle.
You know the Bickles? All right. But we must be discreet. Can't have Mr. Hill hearing this.
I know Mr. Hill. He was kind to me the day of the troll attack.
Oh, he's a good man. But even he wouldn't understand about Harlow. It started a few weeks ago. I was distracted, reading a note, when you-know-who came into the shop. I hid the note behind the counter and offered to help him. He stared at me for a moment, then asked me to check on an order he'd placed. I went into the storeroom to check on what turned out to be a non-existent order. When I returned, he was holding the note.
What was in the note?
It was a note from Rosie Hill, Mr. Hill's daughter. You see, we've been, well, secretly engaged these past 6 months. We haven't told Mr. Hill yet. I dare say he has higher hopes for her. Harlow advised me in no uncertain terms that my relationship with Rosie, not to mention my employment here, depended upon my cooperation.
What did he ask you to do?
It all happened so quickly. In an instant, he took a very expensive scarf from the counter, pocketed it, and smiled. He said, "Your secret is safe as long as I can supply my lady friend with delightful items like this every so often." I've been able to cover for his requests until now with some creative bookkeeping, but I can't keep it up for much longer. I'm terrified to say anything. I could never live without Rosie.
I met Mr. Hill the day of the troll attack. He was kind to me. Why don't you just tell him?
He's a lovely man. But when it comes to Rosie, I fear he loses all perspective. He'd see this as a grave betrayal. I'd lose my job instantly, and Rosie as well.
What have you been doing to keep the extortion a secret?
Well, as I mentioned, creative bookkeeping. And I've also been trying to cover the costs with my own savings, but I'm running out of money. Of course, none of this bodes well for my efforts to improve my circumstances and to be worthy of Rosie.
Could you give me a bit more detail about the note that might help me to identify it should I come across it?
It's on Rosie's special pink stationery. It has her monogram at the top, RH. That's how Mr. Hill would know it was real.
Thank you for telling me. I'm gathering evidence to take Harlow down.
I would love nothing more than to see him rotting in Azkaban, but be careful. He's an awful man and incredibly dangerous. As for Rosie's letter, should you happen upon it, I have committed it to memory. You may destroy it immediately.
Understood.
Now hurry off before Mr. Hill returns. Where was I?
We're on the right track. Now to find the last of Mr. Bickle's friends. Agabus Filbert must be around here somewhere.
Hello there.
Alohomora. Revelio. Excuse me, Mr. Filbert. I wondered if I might speak with you about your dealings with Theophilus Harlow. I hope to ease Mrs. Bickle's mind by gathering evidence against him.
Oh, tragic, what happened to Bickle. He wanted me to speak out against Harlow for an act of violence committed against me. But I feared Harlow's retaliation, and so I refused.
If you had spoken out against him as Mr. Bickle asked, perhaps Harlow would be locked away by now.
Perhaps. But perhaps I would have suffered a similar fate.
You said that Harlow committed an act of violence against you. Could you tell me what happened?
Before my extraordinary wife, Dulcibella, passed away, she had just completed a small book of poetry. As a surprise for her birthday, one she never had the chance to celebrate, I had the book beautifully bound and plated in gold. One day, Harlow came calling to punish me for having spoken out against the Neanderthals that comprise Rookwood's lot. Before I knew it, I'd been petrified, and Harlow was rifling through my home. He found the book of poetry, with its exquisite gold plating. I watched helplessly, lying there in my entranceway as he walked away with the book, laughing as he went. I was shaken to my core. Still am, to be honest.
I imagine you fear Harlow retaliating again. But do you mind if I share this information with Officer Singer?
I suppose I have no choice. This extortion can't go on forever. You can pass it on to anyone who may be willing to help. Harlow does not like people talking, as you already know.
I've spoken with Mr. Bickle's friends. Now to find Natty.
Hengist of Woodcroft.
It's not like Natty to be late. She said she was going to the Hog's Head. Perhaps I'll find her there. Natty must be around here somewhere. Natty's wand. She can cast without it. She wanted me to find this. She's in trouble. Revelio will show me where she was taken.
Nosy little students get what's coming to them.
Revelio.
Living with dementors takes a mighty toll on the soul.
Revelio.
Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. Footprints led to this room. There must be another way forward. Hidden door. Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. Revelio. I'd better be sure I'm not seen.
Come in here alone.
Just keep an eye out.
I remember my... She's now there upon me.
Nothing worth stealing in Murrenween.
I don't want to work with goblins. Not now, not ever. Rookwood's gone mad. Let's finish this job and be done with it. Waste of time, this is.
Nah, you want to leave it at least?
How did I get mixed up in this? Doing Rookwood's work for him?
Say what you will about Feldcroft, but the estate is spacious.
Book of poems that was taken from Agabus Filbert. He'll be thrilled to have this back.
It's been a bit queer. My most trying to tell you.
Revelio.
Lots and guards can't stop me.
When we're done here, I'm going to break. I've had enough of Feldcroft. That's why you never have to.
Lucas, to tell us.
It's exhausting. Standing here.
Revelio.
Rookwood's work for him. He can fight his own battles. I reckon girl's been nothing but trouble. About time we locked her up.
Aye.
I don't trust Ranrock, I'll tell you that. Don't first chance he gets. Got my eye on a few nearby hamlets. Very dangerous.
Revelio.
I've robbed every traveling vendor that's passed through here. They never see it coming. They don't seem to care for me in Hogsmeade. Can't say I blame them what they
Always one, in there? Except this time, it's not just one, is it? It's the whole lot of us, all falling prey to some delusion what seems to...
I don't want to work with goblins. Not now, not ever. Rookwood's gone mad. I hope Rookwood knows what he's doing. Let's finish this job.
Call out for me all you want. I shall be off spending my spoils in Hogsmeade. Ha ha!
How did I get mixed up in this? What are we even doing here? We ought to be at the Hog's Head. This is a waste of our time.
Show yourself.
When we're done here, I'm going straight to the Hog's Head. Or perhaps I'll just...
Didn't think anyone was dark enough to sneak up on me.
It's exhausting. Standing here all day waiting to do Rookwood's work for him. He can fight his own battles. I've raided Brockborough more times than I can count. They're incapable of defending themselves.
They know the lies and falsehoods no one's mightier and Rookwood's.
Mind yourself. Understood? I've had enough of Feldcroft. Hope I never have to see it again. I've used the garden arm several times. Can't understand why more don't. Never mind.
Aye.
I'm not hearing things. There are
Somebody out there?
How come I always draw the short straw?
Revelio.
I brought every traveling vendor that passed through here. They never see it coming. Everyone in our home is shut and rightfully so. I hope.
I shan't be having none of your nonsense. Leave me like that again and you'll soon find yourself with now but poachers at your back.
Let's finish this. Wasting time, this is.
And students these days, so full of themselves. Suppose that's what we can.
Dr. Dibble's love letter from Rosie. He wanted me to destroy this if I found it.
How did I get mixed up in this? Doing Rookwood's work for him? When we're done here, I'm going straight to the Hog's Head. Or perhaps I'll just go now.
You can't keep your eyes off a pretty lass, you can't. Quit a flick of a frock and you fall to pieces.
I don't trust Ranrock, I'll tell you that. He'll turn on us first chance he gets. I've raided Rockhollow more times than I can count. They're incapable of defending themselves.
One wonders if one's life is indeed carved out by destiny, or merely the spawn of ill choices made along the way.
They don't seem to care for me in Hogsmeade. Can't say I blame them, what with all I've done there. No!
Oi!
I've had enough of Feldcroft. Hope I never have to see it again.
My mother used to always say, a clear head makes way for a clear path. I don't know what your path is, since your head's never so loud as a troll you are. Knew I'd find you, little coward!
You may not be anyone.
Natty must be here somewhere.
Knew you were still hanging about. Where did you go, coward? Ha! You're easier to spot than it.
You found us. I knew you would. Over here.
I need your help.
What are you, shy? I've seen more courage in a thought you could hide from.
Is that all they're teaching in school these days?
Stop right there!
Mr. Rabe? Daisy told me you'd been abducted.
You spoke with my wife. How is she?
Worried about you. Are you all right?
I am all right. Thank you for coming. These locks are cursed, and there's an anti-apparition jinx on the cells. Even Natty's skill with wandless magic cannot free us. I need you to find my wand.
Use mine. We'll find yours together once you're out of there.
I need my wand for this. Using one with which I have no connection may not work as well or as quickly, and we cannot risk detection.
I shall do my best. Any idea where it might be?
It's nearby. I can sense it.
Understood. I'll find it.
Your friend Natty was not able to summon my wand. It must be blocked by something.
Revelio.
this room.
Hello,
I can tell.
Mora. Mr. Rabe's wand. He'll be glad to have this back. Mr. Rabe, I found your wand.
Well done. I knew it was nearby. Now, you best stand back. One never knows how a curse will react to being broken.
Revelio.
Thank you, Mr. Isco.
My pleasure. And thank you, my friend. We owe our lives to your bravery. I may be too weak to disapparate with you both, but I can try.
You go ahead. Find Officer Singer. We will get out of here on our own.
Very well. But be careful. Thank you, my young friends.
Be prepared for a fight. These Ashwinders must pay. They got what they deserved.
Revelio. Revelio.
Let's find Officer Singer and put an end to Harlow once and for all.
Natsai Onai. I should have known. And you, the troll dispatcher. Oh, thank goodness the two of you are safe. Isco Rabe told me a couple of students had rescued him. Should have known it was you two.
Is Mr. Rabe all right?
He is. I sent him home to his wife, Miss Onai. Your mother will not be pleased to learn that you're still risking your safety pursuing these dangerous men.
Actually, Officer Singer, Natty and I learned of several Hogsmeade residents who've had their lives threatened by the Ashwinders. In addition to abducting Mr. Rabe to blackmail his wife and Natty, Rookwood and Harlow have also extorted Agabus Filbert and Otto Dibble.
I will look into all of that. As for the two of you, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are taking great risk. Next time, please let the authorities handle the Ashwinders.
With all due respect, officer, the authorities haven't done much about any of this.
There's more to taking down an organization like the Ashwinders than simply storming in and hauling them off based on a few accusations. I must insist that you leave them to us. We shall have no further discussion on this. Natsai, you may wish to speak with your mother about this before I do.
My mother will not like this. Thank you again for rescuing me. We shall speak soon.
Good thing the Ministry banned underage talk. I remember you. You're gonna help me award this father.
The Ashwinders have ceased pestering me. I suspect that's your doing. Thank you from me and Rosie both. We're just leaving for our honeymoon, after we tell Mr. Hill of our recent marriage. Wish me luck.
Revelio. 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 Revelio.
you scurvy cur. Ha! I dare say you've heard of my proficiency with...
Revelio.